I will be fine because they're teaching me in English. I pity you. Don't be like me, oh. Don't be like me. I struggled. You paid school fees. Or you're a scholarship student. Your government have paid the fees already. So do you? Do you, sis? Can I relocate to Russia without knowing Russian language? Can I survive in Russia without knowing Russian language? Yes. Let's dive into this one. Number one, yes, you can. You can survive in Russia without knowing Russian language. But you cannot be comfortable. You cannot live comfortably without knowing the language. Because everywhere you turn to, every offices, everywhere you go to, it is the first language of the country. You have to know the language at some point for your own good. Okay? But if you don't know the language, life is gonna be tough for you here. Navigating life is gonna be difficult because the level of difficulty depends on where you live, what you do, and how you plan to study. And you knowing the language. Number two, Moscow versus the rest of Russia. You know Moscow is the capital of Russia, Moscow, and it's a very big, busy city. So in Moscow, in universities, let's say Moscow and St. Petersburg, there are universities that teach in English programs, and some young people actually speak English language. Some Russians, the young ones, speak Russian. They speak English language, and there are apps that you can use to translate. I've shared it in the previous video. Google app, there are different app, Yandex app that you can use to translate. You can use for translation throughout your stay in Russia. But the problem here is, okay, in big cities, you definitely see, you'll be fortunate enough to meet Russians who speak English language. But in smaller cities like mine, like Kursk, like small cities, Belgorod, they are loyal to the language. You have to know the language. You hardly see a Russian who speaks English. Throughout my stay in Kursk here, I've only met one Russian who speaks English fluently, like strongly fluently. Even the teacher that teach us I'm not talking about my teachers, they teach us in English language. But most of them, their English is not even perfect. Because as you're speaking, I'm correcting you. You get my point? So now, but you can survive. So in bigger cities, you can survive with English. Major cities like, Moscow, St. Petersburg, Krasnodar, But you see, smaller cities, it's going to be difficult for you, okay? Because English is almost zero. People don't speak it. Even basic communication, people don't know it. So, if you don't know Russian language, basic communication is going to be basic communication is going to be very hard for you. And life is going to be very difficult. And help is limited. If you have emergency, or maybe you're stuck somewhere, or maybe you need directions to a particular place, you hardly find help because you don't know the Russian language. You'll be struggling with Google Translator. It can be frustrating for you and the person you're translating to. So without Russian language, life becomes very stressful for you. And like I said, location matters a lot. It matters a lot. Number two, let's talk about daily life without Russian language. Without Russian language, see doctor visits. It's gonna be very, very terrible. I'm a witness of that. The time I did not know Russian language, I had to attend hospitals that have English translators. But the small cities where I live, most hospitals do not have English translators. I only know of one hospital that have English translator, which is Medassist. But I also do not have that state hospital. That means that Medassist is giving classy vibe, like private hospital vibe. But in big cities, you can be lucky enough to see English translators in the hospital. But small cities, it's difficult for you to find English translators in small cities. So, you see, your doctor appointment, you're going to be frustrated. It's inevitable. What do you want to say to the doctor? How does the doctor want to communicate with you? That's the issue. You just have to take a friend who knows Russian language, or look for a translator who can follow you because you can't be translating with in a doctor office now. How you? It's gonna be difficult now. So the next will be police interaction. When you go to police to lay complaint, or maybe police stops you to talk to ask you about your document and everything, you're gonna have difficulties if you do not know Russian language. You're gonna spend much time explaining yourself. The 1 million words. Okay? And then bank services are very confusing. Like I told you, Russians a lot of documentation. You are gonna sign. You go sign it. You understand me? So it's gonna be an issue. So police interaction, like I say, can become risky with Russian language, because if maybe someone reports you for something, or maybe you're in a scenario and then you're being reported for something, you cannot defend yourself in Russian language. It's gonna be a difficulty for you. It's very risky, because if you go and sign rubbish, you don't go jail. You're off to the jail, saying the day of my life in the jail of Russia. That's me. Apartment issues is hard. A fellow YouTuber, Ivan Owen, that lives in my city, he made a video regarding how difficult it is to find an apartment. You don't know Russian language, it might be very difficult to find an apartment. It might be difficult to navigate the apps. You have to be translating. When you see the landlord, communication is bad, you cannot explain yourself. It's hectic, So I think the things you can rely on for someone who don't speak Russian language would be having friends that speak Russian language. The apps that I said I have recommended so far. Google Translate. You need apps. You need apps that Google apps, translating apps for you to communicate. So now, education and student life, number 4. I would say many students arrive thinking, okay, my program is in English, I'll be fine. Just like me, Amanda Ogechi. I will be fine because they're teaching me in English. I pity you. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. I struggled. After graduation, I was so stuck. But I didn't know language. I stayed 1 year, no job. But now, to God be the glory. Hallelujah. So the reality is the fact that those of you who are so balanced, like princesses, I'm being taught the English language, I don't need Russian language. You did not take the PATFAC seriously. PATFAC is the preparatory Russian language classes. Most of us did not take it seriously. So those of you know yourselves, those of us that study the English language, you did not take that PATFAC seriously. For your own good, take it seriously. New students, put it like a best friend. Accumulate it, hug it, embrace it, choke it, swallow it. You need that class. Take it seriously. You know you're taking biology seriously, take that Russian class seriously. For your own good. For your own good. I've made a lot of mistakes in life, and then me sharing now, I'm in a better place right now. But I won't like you to go through the same thing. Because I suffered, you don't need to suffer. So I'm telling you these things, and most YouTubers won't come online to tell you this thing, so you should hear this. Learn the language. Okay? Good. Exams and notice may switch languages. Your timetable and all, even those of you that are in English programs, that teach you in English language, your exam timetables, some materials, or maybe materials will be in English language, but when it comes to timetables, news or notice, school notice, news and everything, they're mostly in Russian language. You're gonna be translating like hell. Literally. Internship opportunities requires Russian. You want an internship while you're studying, you need Russian language. I'm so sorry. That's just it. You need Russian language. So students who don't learn Russian language, you're gonna stay isolated. All of a sudden you're introverted because you cannot speak to anybody because you don't know the language. I've shaded myself, but I take it. You're gonna depend on African communities, meaning You don't know the language, so you have to depend on African communities, depend on people who speak the language, and it's crazy. And you're going to miss opportunities. A lot of opportunities are going to like go through your fingers, your hands. They're going to slip through your hands because you do not know the language. Okay? And then another one I would say would be the universities. That job is for them to teach you in the preparatory class. If you like, don't take it seriously. They expect you to adapt. It's none of that business. You paid school fees. Or you're a scholarship student. Your government have paid the fees already. So do you? Do you, sis? In Agnes' voice. Do you, sis? Do you, bro? Your future is in your hands. They can do what they can do. You do you. You do you. Number 5 would be working without Russian language. Oh my God. It can be so stressful. This is where things get so serious. Like I said, my own experience. It's difficult for me to find jobs because I don't speak Russian language. I want to get an English job. They ask you, do you speak Russian language? I'm like, no. But now it's better. I'll say, okay, beginner or intermediate. I'm speaking. I'm trying. I can understand. You know, some schools, maybe those of you looking for English teaching jobs, some school will allow you to use Google Translate to communicate to your students. Some school will not allow. They want you to speak Russian to a certain level. You get me? So, without Russian language, job opportunities are extremely limited, mostly manual or informal jobs. You go do labor work. Because you don't know the Russian language, you can end up being the cleaner. You can end up just doing a menial job. Me, I have done a lot of menial jobs to put food on the table because I don't know Russian language. But right now, I'm doing those jobs because it helps me to practice the language well. Because in advance, when I want to start practicing as a medical doctor here in Russia, of course, I want in Russian language. That's why this year I decided to take jobs. I want to work as a washer in an agricultural company. So I can be able to practice my Russian language and get better in the workspace. Why you don't know the language? Like me now, God by my side, literally love. It's not even love. Favor of the Lord that shineth on me. I got a well-paying job without knowing Russian language, and it's a washing job. For some cases, it can be very bad. So just know it for your own good, okay? There is no promotions. You will not see promotion in anything. It will be difficult for you to get promotions if you don't know Russian language. Let's say, for example, you get a job at Burger King, and they don't want to promote you. Don't know the language. How would they promote you to manager? Who would want to manage without knowing Russian language? Who would want to manage? Do you get me? Number 6, social life and isolation. Language is more than words. It's connection, my darling. It's connection. Without Russian language, it will be difficult for you to make friends. Very difficult to make friends. I don't have Russian friends. I just met one that speaks the language. So I'm going to try to make friends with Russians this year. Okay? Dating is harder. I've not dated a Russian before, but I think for those who are interested in dating Russians and all, the dating game is going to be hard for you if you don't know Russian language. You want to be translating, I love you. Yeah, we translator. You want to be translating, baby, shady Chris. Baby, Shansewi, with translator, no, you need to know Russian language, yeah? For those of you that are interested to date, that are interested in dating Russians, you need to know the language. It will be better for you. Okay, my darling. So it doesn't cause issues in your relationship, okay? And then you actually feel invisible because sometimes you go to events or, you see opportunities just slip through your hand because of, okay, you don't know the language, or you go to somewhere and you don't know what they're talking about. You're going to feel invisible. You don't be shouting, involve me, but they cannot involve you. But with language, people are open up to have conversation with you, and then the respect increases. If you know Russian language, people respect you. Opportunities comes when you know Russian language. I'm telling you. Opportunity comes when people respect you when you know Russian language. That's why I'm trying to learn it very well. You can see, if you see Iwan Owen, of course, you can see his lifestyle, what he puts on his YouTube channel. You can see there's more respect for him. There's more opportunities for him because of the Russian language. Russian language is power here. You want to stay here, this you have to. you have to, you want to stay in Russia for a long time for you to progress and everything, for better opportunities, you have to know the language. I'm so sorry, you have to. Number 7 would be technology helps. Like I said, technology helps, but it's not enough. Google apps, Yandex Map, online services, yeah, these apps can help you, but not 100%, because in situations of emergency situations, these apps cannot help you with emotions that most times you translate, and then the translator translates it to the person in a violent way. Maybe especially when you're having something argumentative with somebody, you're having an argument with someone. The translator will make it aggressively, like insult to the person. A lot of times I've entered issues, maybe with landlord or some issues in the past, where I use translator, and those people, they don't get it that you don't speak Russian language. They don't care. Some of them don't know that you don't even speak, so they just take it deep. So your translator can betray you and go and tell the person A, meanwhile you're saying B. So you need to know Russian language yourself. How long does it take for you to know Russian language? How long? People do ask this question. For me, it took me a while, but let me say with my experience, right? Let's be realistic. Like from when I sat down, I said, okay, yes, I want to learn Russian language. I want to be consistent, right? If you want to know basic Russian language, 3 to 6 months is enough for you to know basic Russian language. But when it comes to conversational Russian language, 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, 6 months to 2 years is enough, because the more you're talking with people, you're having friends, communicating everything in Russian language, you're gonna get better and better and better. Okay, and then fluency, of course, the more you speak over the years, the earlier 2, 3 years, 4 years, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good at it, literally. Yeah. People say Russian language is hard. Yes, I've once said it here. Russian language is very hard. I don't blame people who do not speak it. It's very difficult. But when you sit down and say you want to do something, you have no choice. I want to. If not, my life, I'm gonna feel like a failure. Then you have to sit down and open that book and read the Russian language by fire by force. But I advise you to start with Duolingo. Duolingo app is very free for Russian language. That's what I'm using, and it has been better so far. Use Duolingo app and start Russian language basics. So what I do right now is that as I'm using Duolingo to learn the true Russian language, the small Russian language, I have a Russian verb textbook that I go to learn, more advanced Russian language verbs. You get my point? So at the time I'm seeing some verbs at Duolingo, I have seen them before. At the time I'm even reading some verbs in the textbook, I've seen them before in Duolingo. So it's gonna help for me to speak fluently and better, like in a short period of time. If you're currently in Russia, please drop your opinion in the comment section, so those that are not here yet in Russia, they can be informed. Share your experience in the comment section. So the question is, do you speak Russian, or are you struggling to speak Russian? Do you speak Russian? Are you struggling to speak Russian? And those of you who speak Russian, how has life been so far since you know Russian, since you started speaking Russian language? How has life been compared to when you don't know Russian language? Please comment below in the comment section, okay? So that's all for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you like videos like this. I'm gonna see you next. Guess the next video topic, the next video title in the comment section, okay? Take care of yourself, guys. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to your friend who wants to relocate to Russia, okay? Bye.